welcome to this impromptu episode of Too Many Chefs, episode 17. And I'm your host, Devious Dave Rose. Thank you so much for joining us. So, excuse me, I was just doing a little chill hangout stream when the one and only real chef, Gabe Rodriguez, tuned in. And as I had been trying to coordinate with him in the past, we finally were able to get it working. And he suggested that we do a stream now. So I dropped that stream, and now we're going to do this. So let me just unmute him here on Discord. And I don't remember the last time that I talked to him. Well, actually, I do. It was like 2 years ago. But regardless, the man himself, Gabe Rodriguez, welcome back.
Hey, Dave, how are you?
I'm doing great. And again, this Sunday has turned into be a wonderful one because, again, something that I've been trying to coordinate for quite some time has finally come to fruition. And we were able to work our schedules towards, again, doing a follow-up and what I thought was, one of the better episodes of Too Many Chefs. This is episode
Definitely.
17, and it has been a while since I've done one. But, life happens. And when I do a show about food, I certainly want to be focusing on it and doing the best I can because it's a topic that I love to discuss. But, again, welcome back. It's been a while. How's everything been with you?
Oh man, it's been good, man. It's been all right. Just been busy, man. Been busy for the past couple of years. I haven't spoken with you, so just been at different places. Worked a couple of more places. Got into a new job, a little gig where I'm at right now, and it's been going good. Just a different change of scenery and pace, what I'm used to. But the hours are good, and I'm off on the weekends, so I'm really excited about that.
So the schedule is more, I guess, flexible around normal hours, I guess?
Yeah, so basically, I got a promotion, so I'm like now a food and beverage director. So, yeah, so I moved.
Paperwork.
I know, yeah, tell me about it. So, I got a promotion, and now I'm working at basically a private school, but it's upscale. It's not like regular cafeteria food. It's more like upscale, like restaurant dining with concepts. It's really cool.
So you come in with picanha on a sword, or maybe some flambe with fucking rum.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's nice, man. I mean,
so these 8-year-olds are basically consuming alcohol without a problem.
Dude, it's
50-year-old fucking scotch.
It's actually K through 12. It's kindergarten through 12th grade. So yeah, it's crazy,
here. I
dude.
want to check the audio levels on the stream.
Yeah, basically, I mean, it's nice, man. I mean,
so these 8-year-olds are. I hear myself okay. Casey is raw. I don't know if he's trolling me or something there in the chat, but he says my audio is low. I don't know. Get the fat out of your ears. It's not wax. It's it's literal hog fat. So, which is delicious to cook with.
Right. Yes, definitely.
But so going back to what you're saying, you've changed venues, you've changed hours, and obviously that's changed the focus. Because the previous job you had, do you want to give some few details and maybe just explain why it's so different now?
Oh yeah, because it was more fine dining. And things like that. So getting to, and it's like completely opposite. It's I mean, not really. I mean, it's the same but different. It's just the hours are much better, more of a quality of life versus going home like late at night, grinding, and then running 2 or 3 more of the crews in charge of it, in charge of multiple things while I was in charge of multiple, I guess, people
and things like that, like just staffs, like you know what I mean, like running different outlets, like about 6 or 7 different food outlets and venues. So now I'm overseeing one kitchen, but well, it's 2 kitchens in one facility. So with a bunch of P&L, like profit and loss, it's just like more numbers now. I'm not cooking as much, like you said, office work, things like that. So I'm 40, I'm 41, so I'll be 42. So I mean, it's good on my. It's basically better for me, quality of life, and better on my legs, and it's just better, better money, better opportunity, things like that. So moving up in the company, and things like that. So that's what it's about, man. Moving up and doing what you got to do.
Because something that I was elated on when we last spoke, but that was ages ago. When you think of all that's happened between then, is that you were talking about opening up um, a food truck, and that is something that I had so much pleasure on discussing with you. The last time that you were
Yeah.
here, and
So like, yeah.
yeah. So why don't you
So
talk
things
about
like
that?
so basically like things fell apart during that. There's a lot of stuff that happened during that time. Just like with life in general, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts. So during that time, just a lot. And then I was talking to my wife about it, Vanessa. So she was just like, she supported me on it. But at the end of the day, yeah, I don't get benefits. I don't get stuff like that. So I need to look at all of it, the big picture. I get that it's a food truck, but at the same time I'm looking at my life, like outside, you know what I mean, like it's just different.
But
I
but
don't
you
know,
see,
it's food's just, yeah.
no, go ahead.
No, and that's it. It's just different. I'm trying to do it in a different pace right now. I would love to. I'm just so busy with everything else, and then you have to like. I'm just thinking about everything. The expense of owning a food truck, the expense of food, and food's like crazy expensive right now. And then like you don't get benefits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's stuff like that,
Yeah, you,
and
you got to be
you know what I mean?
pragmatic and
It's
realistic
just
about it. And
yeah,
my point is that it's an amazing um, goal to try to reach and to have the
definitely.
freedom, if again, the freedom and the ability financially to be able to pull that off, which is quite difficult, especially in today's climate, as opposed to literally 3 years ago. Um,
Yeah,
you,
definitely.
it's something that I can totally sort of support and encourage and cheer on, because you're providing something unique in a manner that is accessible to people. And it provides a freedom to the business owner to run it their way. Um, but I find it
Yeah,
very,
exactly.
again, things
Yeah,
happen. It's unfortunate, and right now with the instability of things, obviously it makes sense that you did what you did to look for that stability that will provide you with. Things that working a food truck cannot provide you, benefits, all that stuff. But again, stability, employment, something that you can look towards,
yes,
and you're not, trying to book the next gig. So, as a dream of
yeah,
yours, and
definitely.
I'm sure if you, won the lottery sort of thing, that would be something that you would do just for a hobby. And, obviously you charge money and
Oh
stuff, but
yeah.
you wouldn't be worried about the profit generation, because simply this is a dream of yours that you just want to share that love of food with other people. And I think that translated a
Of
lot from the
course.
last episode that we discussed, this idea of yours, because again it really translates to a love of food, and that if you had the ability to, again, win the lottery, retire, goes live on the fucking beach, or would you just try to incorporate
Yeah.
the fact that you could run a food business, and I lost $3,000 this year. Okay, well, I made 3,000 people happy with the food that I love, and now they're going to tell their families and friends and stuff, and they're, like that sort of, I guess, goal of sharing a love. I can see you totally doing if you won the lottery today. You
Mm.
certainly wouldn't just sit back, because again, there's that passion of food. I'm not even a fucking, well, I cook, but I can't call myself a cook. although by law, I guess you can
Yeah.
call me that. I'm not a chef, although the way I treat making food, some people might call me that. But you have put yourself in that position where you've proven this professionally. There's a big difference between my
Yeah.
love of food and your proof of professionalism and such. But in the end, it still relates to our love of food.
Exactly. I appreciate that. I'm just doing what I have to do for my family and providing, for my family, and I'm thinking about that
But
as
you
well
you
as
could
far
be
as you said
okay. Let's be
instability,
honest though.
you
You
know.
you could be digging ditches for your family. You could be
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know
Yeah,
spinning a
exactly.
sign on a corner for your
Yeah.
family. But you
Yeah.
choose
Yeah.
something that you have shown a passion for. So that and
Oh
again,
yeah.
even with like as last time we talked, you were telling us about the previous employment, its challenges and so forth. But you still spoke of it with such a passion that okay, well, these little
Yeah.
small things get in the way of doing what I want, which is I'm there in front of the fucking grill cooking. But hey, they're fun. They're fun
Yeah.
stuff too. Like it's part of the job. I enjoy it. It shows my acceptance of this by this company for my work, that they appreciate me and I'm in this special position. But in the end, what I'm focusing on with my passion is being in front of that grill. And I think you really showed that the last time we spoke. So no matter what job you're doing, obviously you're capable of doing it for your family, especially with that motivation. But in the end, being in this industry, you always go back to what your passion is to again show off
Exactly.
your skills, which is being right there cooking, cutting up vegetables, doing
Oh yeah.
whatever it is, but being there and in the
Yeah.
creation process.
Yes, yes, and to piggyback off that, so like last week, they had a catering on Friday, and like I've been in the office doing paperwork and stuff like that, and then I got called to catering to help another place out. So the company likes to send me to different places, in schools and things like that. They have like buffets and caterings and things like that. So what did I do? We all gathered up and we were like we helped a buddy of mine out at another school, and we were doing, but like they had this big old banquet. So and where did I go back to? I went back to food. You know what I mean? I helped them out. We're making like 250 plates. You know what I mean? So like it was just like pulled pork, just macaroni and cheese, things like that, man. Just like good, simple food. You know what I mean? But like you said, I go back to that. I always find myself in that predicament. So, and it's the love of food, you know what I mean? And bringing people together on that note as well. So,
Well, we just got a donation, so let's celebrate that. And
awesome.
let me get this message out here. Yes, I'm a little slow, but it was a chill Sunday, anyways, and I'm so glad that just like last now, and I'm like, fuck it, let's do it live. All right, we got a donation from one and only G Meow Meow, Ryan the Good. And he says, I'm hungry. What's on the menu? Keep it up, G. You know me. Hella wannabes out there. Times three. LOL. Gang, gang. Bang, bang. Great show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm having a blast here talking
Cool.
with Gabe here. Sorry, I heard a little feedback, so that was kind of weird. But yeah, so you're now in. Well, you obviously explained your love of cooking and such, and sorry, you might have to tune or turn down your volume because I'm hearing myself and.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I also hear some sort
Yeah,
of.
can you hear me?
Yeah, but now I hear
Hmm.
some feedback.
Let me see.
Are you watching my stream?
I'm sorry. Let's see.
Because if you are, then you're going to be hearing.
No. I'm not watching it.
No.
I see. Let me see. I have. Oh, you know what? I am. Let me. Okay. Are you? Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I hear the same, but I'm not hearing now the echo Yeah, if you had the YouTube thing open, it would
Okay.
have been playing the audio as we spoke. A little delayed. So, but
Okay.
yeah, you were just talking about again sharing that passion of cooking and such. And I speak.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh shit! I'm hearing
No,
you
I'm
again.
sorry.
Okay,
Yes. Let me see. Let me see. Let me do that.
let me go to Discord to see.
I Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah, it should be maybe. Let me just keep talking to see if I hear it in the background. But so far, so good.
Okay.
Weird.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Cool. No, just like what you were saying, just the love of food and the passion of it. But yes, now I'm on the next stages of my life, I guess. Now I'm just running the account, things like that. I'm still right now. I currently have an executive chef, and I'm over the executive chef right now. So it's kind of hard to be in that predicament because I'm so used to not bossing people around, but kind of bossing them around. You know what I mean?
So
So
yeah,
it's kind of, and then
I was gonna ask about that in this new position and stuff. Those points, like you're just explaining, is like you want to step in, you want to provide, but these people, there's that chain of command. It's like, well, at this point, at my position, these people are already the one I would potentially boss around, if you want to use that as a bad term, but or direct, I think is a better word, is that they're already supposed to know what they're doing. I can't necessarily get involved here because then there's going to be, again, issues with who's directing who and so forth. But I know what you're talking about in that sense. And I'm sure that you do want to jump in at some points and either give them a little tip or something or show them a certain skill that
yeah,
you've got.
I try to, man. It's just hard because I'm so used to like what I was saying, directing people and then giving directions for for somebody that I have 100% respect for because I know what they do because I did that.
Well, you've
You know
served
what I
in all
mean?
those different
So
roles, as a chef. You've gone as what as high as a sous chef or even higher. Like,
yeah, there's like sous chef, like cooks, sous chef, executive sous chef, and then executive chef, and then now I'm the food service director.
so there's
So
quite a lot to that
I'm like the
ladder.
pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm at the pinnacle like of it all now. So I oversee everything. But now like there's area managers and then there's like district managers and things like that. And then the VP, the vice president, culinary and things like that. So now there's just stepping stones for me to get to more. You know what I mean? More up the ladder.
Exactly. Now that you've got the foot in the door, those possibilities are available to you.
Definitely. Yep.
But
So
it's
now
certainly
I can go anywhere. Say if I want to work for like somewhere, say I want to work for SeaWorld, right? That account with how they have all the food vendors. They have like big old food ops. Now I can be like a GM, a general manager, or I would be like a food and beverage director anywhere. You know what I mean? And then now I'm making significant, like a more significant amount of money as well with the same title. So just like executive chef, executive chefs make pretty good money too, depending on where you're at as well. So, but it's just getting up there.
those last two positions. You said beverage director, and what was the other one?
It was food and beverage director, and then area manager, and then VP of the vice president of dining.
Okay,
It's
so
like all like a corporate thing.
you have again a varied array of different positions with again different responsibilities, but different privileges as well. So you do
Yes.
have all these options, which is a great thing. Again, working in an organization that can help support that, and that you have that ability to move up quickly, but also expand to different specialties.
Yes. So, which is good, and that's always a good thing to do, and it probably eases your quality of life better as well.
Yeah, those
So,
hours
not too bad.
certainly can help. Considering restaurant hours could be from 8 a.m.
Oh man, I
restaurant,
worked at
right?
restaurants, I worked at fine dining, I worked at
Fast food.
hotels, country clubs, all that good stuff, and I'll get out late. You know what I mean? You get in at 5 in the morning, grinding till like 11 at night.
Yeah,
So you're working a good 15, 16 hours a day.
yeah.
So
All depending on the place, but yeah, you could get up even before the sun, and then go to leave work way after the sun,
yeah, exactly.
went down.
So
So
yeah, my schedule's good right now. I go in at 6 in the morning, I get off around 2:30, 3 o'clock,
oh,
sometimes 4 o'clock, but sometimes yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good. Sometimes there's caterings, but it's okay. It's all good. But I'm not getting off at 11 p.m., 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So, and then I'm off on the weekends, and that's hard in the business because basically it's all like, you know what I mean? The Saturday and Sunday are the busiest, in restaurants.
and with this new place, um, I'm always curious about the food and the types of food.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So what I'm wondering is basically, are you making anything now that you weren't before? Anything that you personally enjoy making because now you have the ability to do so, or not necessarily make
Yeah,
yourself, but
actually,
like direct. Okay, this should be on the menu. Like,
yeah, I do. Yes. The concepts now that and the cool thing about this company is that the concepts, like it's just like mac and cheese. Well, you can add brisket. So it'll be like brisket mac and cheese. You know what I mean? So
hmm
there's like different things that I can do
and they're
that I
open.
can change
Is that
up.
the thing? Is they're open to that possibility of suggestion? It's not something that is hardcore set in their ways. Is that Are they
No.
receptive at least to these suggestions?
Yeah, they're receptive to, like the client's receptive to that, and the company's receptive to creative stuff. They love the creativity. It's not just like I don't know if you ever like go into like a hospital. If you ever go to not hospital food, but if you go to, you
Your
know,
your connection's going a little wonky, by
but
the way.
they're
So all I heard was hospital food, but that really is all I need to
yeah.
hear, I
So
think. But go ahead.
yeah, and but they're different concepts. Like at this one, it's more like upscale. You know what I mean? Because they're rich kids, and so they don't eat like crappy food. They eat
But
good food.
but
So
you're
we give
you're
them like
talking K to
steak and
12. Is there a fucking 7-year-old there demanding filet
yeah,
mignon?
yeah, they are. And I
And
don't know exactly
okay, so
about filet mignon, but we have
okay. The question should be then: do you have the supplies necessarily to literally put on a la carte uh, kitchen? Because that's what it sounds like you're doing. Like literally
yeah.
everything is made
So
to order.
basically,
Oh, you want a bison burger? Oh, well, we've got a live one
well,
out there,
no,
but no
not like
fresh
that.
meat. Let me go slaughter him now, and your burger will be done in
No, not like
15
that.
minutes. Is that what's going on here?
No, it's not a la carte, but basically, it's retail. So retail, they get whatever they want in retail. Like there's everything. There's endless. We have like six different main entree choices. For I'm talking about for little spoiled little kids to like teenagers that are spoiled. So they're used to like their mom and dads come from country clubs. You know what I mean?
No, I
It's
can
old
totally
money, new
imagine that
money.
this is the type of person. Again, mommy, daddy, country club, spoiled
Yeah.
brats, like it's Hogwarts on fucking cocaine, and it's just like these kids. But we've all seen these videos, these movies, anyways, of these sorts of organizations or colleges that exist. Where
Yeah.
again, it's a privileged class. It really is. It's
Uh huh.
generational money, but it's obviously
Yeah.
used in a way to further promote degeneracy and very bad behavior. Again, you're being fed uh, fine dining and you're acting like a retrograde. Like
Yeah. That's how
it's
they act. I mean, yes, you're right. That's how they
it's the
act. They act
irony is hilarious. Is
like
that
little
like
spoiled brats.
being served something like foie gras, or some again? I always go to French dining as being the ultimate in classy fine dining
In cuisine.
food, but
Yeah.
like it's like serving it to a
Yeah.
fucking a swine that's just gonna fucking go through it and destroy it. It's like these kids sound like they're
It's like
again
you're gonna
they don't
give.
value what it is that you're presenting.
No, I mean that's why like we'll mostly give the little kids like chicken nuggets and stuff like that on the elementary side, and then there's like the high school, and there's like middle school and high school side. So obviously they're gonna eat the nuggets, you know what I mean, and then they'll eat the chicken tenders and the pizza and stuff like that. So, but that's just one option. That's like a different concept. There's about 9 or 10 different. So we put in about shit. We're putting a lot of meals out. You know how many people I feed a day?
Probably 400.
No, like 1,500.
15. I thought this was an elite school. This sounds
Fifteen
more like
hundred a
public
day.
school to me, but okay.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's an elite school. It's 1,500. So there's two kitchens. I feed. So on my campus right now,
Why
I
two
got two
kitchens?
kitchens, and I'm feeding like
Is it because of the
what happened?
volume? Why two kitchens? Is it
Yeah, it's the
volume
volume.
or
It's like
you got
1,200.
kosher rules?
No, yeah, we have cultural rules too.
So does that apply to the kitchens, to the two kitchens,
It's
or
like
is it
peanut
because of
allergens and
volume?
all those ones. And so yeah, we got different allergens for the kids and stuff, and that's what we definitely have to worry about. But other than that, they eat like really well. Like I'm like, I wish I ate like this when I was little. You know what I mean? I was in a public school. You know what I mean? With shitty food. So so sometimes I ate, sometimes I didn't. And these guys,
You got to check your connection there, Gabe.
I interviewed.
It's
Okay, can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you, but there was words that sort of dropped off when you were speaking.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me better?
So far, so good. That's all. That's all I could say about
Okay.
your connection, because again, it just drops off at times, and I don't know if you're just walking or moving
Oh, I'm
around, but
sorry.
no, I don't know what you're doing. Again, I'm not an expert, so I can't say, oh, the satellite isn't reaching you here or whatever. But I'm just letting you know, like I want to hear what you're
Yeah, I'm in
saying,
Texas, man.
and
These
it was
wires,
dropping
yeah,
off.
these things suck. Yeah, these connections suck over here, man. Texas, San Antonio,
Yeah, your internet,
they're
like
just really bad right now.
Doctor Brown. I don't know if you ever watched that guy, but
Uh,
his connection is very off. There's a lot of people in Texas that I've interacted with whose connections don't hold up. But
that's weird.
I don't know. I don't know who to blame for that
I'll
one.
try to I'll try to stay put. I was actually walking around, but I'll stay put right here. So yeah, man. So it's been good. It's been good. How have you been?
I've been good. Things change all the time, and yeah, I'm very content and happy with life right now. Obviously, I haven't been streaming very often, and that's because really I've just been focusing on real life. And when I do have the opportunity or the time to stream, I choose to spend it more on myself and not stream. And there's been people for quite some time who have been asking me to stream and so forth. People who miss old shows, just like Val was talking about. And yeah, I certainly enjoy doing shows of all different types. But something like this, for example, is a passion of mine, and it's something certainly that I've discussed for quite some time to have this follow up. Interview, because I certainly wanted to know about the transition with the food truck idea, and knowing what you were up to now, and just even catching up with just food in general, and like I was going to ask you, have you been making any foods recently at home, experimenting with things, or
Um,
just
so like
yeah,
So
go
no,
ahead.
I haven't. I've been too busy. I've been too busy with everything going on with the transition, like with the work thing, and then my with my wife and everything like that. So, it's just like it's just been a lot. So actually, I haven't been cooking at all. So it's just been I've been just busy, like uber busy. I
You
mean,
get
I've
to
been
take
cooking at
food
work,
home?
but I
You get
very
to you get
what
to
happened?
take food home from work? Oh,
Oh
we
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
serve that.
Yeah.
I'll dispose of that in my duffel bag here.
Yeah,
Got 20
the
other
cool thing about
pounds.
my job is that we the cool thing about my job is that we get to take food home, which is good. It's a no-no like in the restaurant industry,
Yep.
like not to take food home, but I'm good to my people, so
But hold on,
I let them take
just
food
to
home.
for the people to know. And again, who am I to fucking say this? I've never been involved in this, and yet somehow I have this acute knowledge of it. Is that the food that you're talking about in a restaurant's already cooked and stuff? What I'm talking about in the other situation is that you have all this pre-prepared food that just needs a final, heating, whatever. It's all freeze dried and so forth. And if it doesn't get served that day, um, you can easily take it with you, or even stuff that was cooked and you didn't serve it, you're immediately gonna put it in a vac bag and
Uh,
I freeze it and maybe serve it, to some customer in the future, or say, well, this is what we paid for. I'll take it home myself. I'll keep it in my freezer, and then I'll cook it in the future.
yeah, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you can do that, but there's rules. Like when I used to work at a country club, no, when I worked at the hotel, when I worked at a hotel, we could like take food from the banquet. No, we couldn't take food from like the big banquets because it was against policy. Policy meaning it was food related. If somebody takes something home, I guess basically it's considered stealing, and you just have to dispose of it. So say we had all this beautiful food we made, like this pot roast or whatever, prime rib. We can't take it like from the catering. We can't take it home because of policy. It's I guess something with health. It's like a health department code or something. But that's a hotel. It's different from a restaurant. You know what I mean? Restaurants, I'm thinking you can pretty much. Back when I used to work at restaurants, but hotels and other things like that, you couldn't take home. But I don't know how it is now. Things have probably changed.
Hmm. But okay, so what about you really? So what have you been eating? If you haven't been cooking for yourself, are you just getting
Oh
Vanity
man,
to
I've
make
been
you
well.
food, or
My beautiful wife Vanessa's been cooking. So she cooks like pretty much all the meals, man. She's like freaking awesome as far as like she's Mexican and she cooks. We cook nothing but like Mexican food, asada things like that. So she likes to cook all that good stuff like
that sounds
tortillas and things
fucking
like that.
delicious. And do you ever?
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
do you have an Instagram? Do you have anything that you can tell the audience like where to check out?
I actually have a I
Because
know it's
you're
against the
sounding
rules
too kind
because
here, Gabe. To be quite honest, you should be much more narcissistic, and you should have like a channel or something that shows how good of a chef you are. Show
well,
like
I do
pictures and shit.
I do have a TikTok. I know it's
Oh, you
against it,
do.
but I do have it. Yeah, I have a
So you,
TikTok.
you like the Chinese communists? That's unfortunate.
No, I don't like chai coms, but I like their food.
Well,
Yeah.
some of that stuff, depending if it's made with gutter oil.
Oh yeah, or like dog or something.
These people
So
literally will fish out oil from the sewers and then take it back into the restaurant and use it. It's
yeah, yeah,
insanity.
yeah. I've had some friends that worked in a Chinese restaurant, and it's not the best practices. I guess I don't want to say nothing. Like I've seen a lot
Yeah,
of stuff.
that's a
You know what I
very
mean?
nice way of keeping your friends from getting arrested, because yeah, that's a light way of saying what these restaurants do, and it's unfortunate because if you've ever eaten food from these places, it does taste good, but uh,
Yeah,
who knows if that's the cat or the dog that makes it taste so good, but there's something not kosher about that.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say like I'm nice, and I guess I am to a point, but not in the kitchen. It's totally different. I'm not.
Are you like
I'm nice, but not really.
are
I'm
you
fair,
like
but I'm
Gordon
firm.
Ramsay?
No,
Are
I
you the
used to be in
Hispanic
my
Gordon
20s.
Ramsay? That'd be great. Hijo de puta, ¿qué estás haciendo?
I used to be like that, man. I became a man. I became a young manager, and so I used to be that type. But I learned that if you keep treating people like that, they're gonna leave or they're gonna go cry. You know what I
I
mean?
could be the
They go
best.
cry to HR for every
I
little
could be
thing.
the
So
best director of they have these series of videos right now about wrestling called the Dark Side of Ring. I could make a fucking series
oh
called
yeah,
the Dark Side of the Kitchen, And like having you on there to discuss this would be perfect because what you're talking about, again, I don't understand how the fuck I know so much about this culture when I've never been employed in that. Maybe I've just watched too much fucking food TV. But again, what you're talking about, and you know, what happens in the background, I somehow have this innate knowledge of it. And I can totally, it's not sympathy, it's empathy. I can totally feel what you're feeling in regards to having to deal with this shit. It's very similar to being in the corporate world, to be quite honest, because it can overlooking inferiors, those below you in position, and then having to deal with that and having to, fix it, rectify it. I would totally side with Gordon Ramsay. Like I can feel with that what that guy has to deal with because you're dealing.
Oh yeah,
You have
like
this responsibility
yeah.
to all these people, and you got people
hmm
making the dumbest mistakes, and there's no fucking
Not only that,
excuse.
but that's his restaurant. Like
Yes,
that's his
prestige.
restaurant. That's his name. You know what I mean? Everything comes out. He's a Michelin star. So, you know what I mean? That's all his stuff. So even if he's let something slide a little bit and the Michelin inspector's there, they can take that star away.
Yes,
So
that's a big
of
big
course.
thing that people need to understand is that this is something that it makes them money because they are now listed
Yep.
uh, somewhere where somebody's going to end up going in and dropping $5,000 for the people that they bring in, and again, these famous people bringing prestige to it brings more people out, and it keeps these restaurants running. Um,
Yeah.
these
Exactly.
are the
I
small.
wish people
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was going to say that
No,
this
I
is
just
the
wish
small nuances that I love to discuss. Again, maybe I just watch too much fucking cooking shows and shit, but it's to me it's like professional wrestling. There is
yeah.
this little nuance and also all this stuff behind the scenes that's going on that people aren't aware of that is fascinating, I think. Forget about the fake fighting and all that shit, which is enjoyable. Let's talk about how the business is run. Let's talk about all these different things that need to be accomplished for the show to sell. The same thing I think applies to a restaurant, especially when it comes to having a Michelin star or multiple, is that they're expected. There's a certain level of expectation that comes from
hmm
that, and if they don't deliver, it's going to be hell on earth because of what the social media response is going to be.
hmm That's true. Like people like they need to understand that they people like take this stuff really seriously. Like these chefs, like me included, take this stuff seriously. Like old school chefs, like you're going in the kitchen and people like little kids that go to culinary school, they just get out, say they're in a hotel, and then you have this like old chef or this younger chef, and they're like, not jerks, but basically they are, but it's just it's a different generation, than what I'm used to. Like I'm used to being the way, how aggressive I used to be, but I've changed a lot.
Okay, will you
But
be willing to admit your age on this show?
yeah, I'm 41.
Okay. Actually, that reminds me. I've been smoking some cannabis, but yeah, you mentioned that previously on this exact fucking call. So my apologies. I turn
No worries.
44 next month. It's insane.
Oh, congrats, man.
No, no, because I
We're still young, man. I mean,
44.
we
Yeah,
are.
it is, but it's not yet. It is. It's
I mean,
I
I
don't
feel
feel
it, but I
44.
feel the pain.
I can remember when I was fucking 5 years old, like it was yesterday, and it's just like what the fuck. Like I, I see people, in media or fucking on the news or whatnot, and they're 44, and it's just like, oh my god, you look, one step out of the coffin. And it's just like, is that I'm gonna look like when I'm 44? And yet, like, I'm there, and it's just like it's not happening, but it's expected of me. I don't know, but I don't feel it. I look at the
Yeah.
world in a manner of wonder as I did close to when I was a kid, but a lot more cynical. Um, but again, I just don't. I look at that number and it just doesn't make sense to me because it's like that doesn't feel like me.
You don't even look 44, to be honest with you.
yeah, I
Like you look younger than 44.
good genes.
So,
That's all I can say.
mhm. Yeah, my wife's like, you don't look 41. I was like, well, I don't know, man. People say I don't. They literally say I look
No, you
younger,
don't.
but I yeah, I know. Like, but when I grow my beard out and stuff like that, I started looking like that because I have gray in my beard now, and but I had to shave because of the job.
No,
Like, you know
speaking
what I
of
mean?
that,
Because
I found a few gray hairs, and it's just like, oh, like now I'm starting to understand the fucking those ads that I saw as a kid. Like one ad was Grecian Five, I think it was a beard sort of colorant,
yeah,
whatever the ones for the head. But like they're like, oh, you can look all this age and just dye your hair and stuff. I was always thinking like, why would you do that? Now I'm that age. I'm like, I see one hair that's fucking gray. I'm like, ah,
yeah.
because I don't feel
So you
that.
know what I
I
mean?
honestly don't feel that, and it doesn't make
Yeah,
sense. Like,
yeah. So I mean, it's all good, man. Like it is what it is. But people, like I said, need to understand that the kitchen is like no place. Like people, like I said, these little kids these days, they don't like know how it was back in the day when I was a little kid going in this field. You know what I mean? With the guys like me now, the big boys like me when I was, young and things like that. And it's a different world right now, and people take this stuff really seriously. Like chefs, like you got to understand if you're a cook and then you're a chef and you're a chef with like 28 years experience, you see a little 18-year-old and and they're seeing Top Chef and they're seeing all these young shows. They're coming in, they're not really like seeing what really goes on. You know what I mean? It's really disciplined. You know what I mean? Like
do
it's
you
like the
notice that?
military.
And but do you notice is your contention here specifically is that they're not open to learning from those that have actually done the time? Um,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
so they think that because they watched a few TV shows and they're eccentric or autistic, that they can just basically say, "Look at me, I'm a great fine chef. I sprinkled dry chives on this." We all know
Yeah,
that's a crime. But like,
yeah.
look at me, I'm so famous. I did the salt sprinkle like fucking Salt Bay, and therefore I know what I'm talking about, and I don't want to listen to criticisms. Is this literally what you'd have to deal with?
Yeah, I do.
Oh
I used
shit!
to deal with that. The last job I was at, I had to deal with that. Like I had to put people in their place really bad. Like, I had a 21-year-old and I'm like I schooled him like I made him do like a stage. I don't know what you know what a stage is, but it's like cooking. It's called a stage. It's French for French word for like in chef language. It's like doing like an interview free or you're working for free. So I had just to learn experience. And so I had this guy last year do a stage. He was about 21, walking up to an network and all this stuff, thinking he's the next like Gordon Ramsay, right? And I'm like, okay. So I gave him a mystery basket, and a mystery basket consists of
Nice.
a mystery. And so I was like, well, I need you to cook me this, and it was like his interview for like the whole week. You do like a working interview the whole week, and so and I'm like, well, cook for me this chicken breast, a basic chicken breast, a basic 6-ounce chicken breast. Well, I mean, he didn't know his like head from his ass. You know what I mean? And so, like, he cut it, but he didn't fillet it. He didn't butterfly it. You know what I mean? He didn't butterfly it the way
Oh,
I
did
would
he
have
serve
done
it
it. I
whole?
said, yeah.
Oh,
And
but
so, and then all these other like, and I brought my sous chef there, and I said, hey, you know what I mean? Let's put this guy on the spot and see if he knows what he's doing. And so I gave him mystery basket. It was like he just really fucked it up, man. It was like asparagus, freaking sweet potato, and some like chicken breast. Well, he made it like it was like way overcooked, and I'm like, dude, and he had it was I gave him like 35 minutes to do like 3 plates. You know what I mean? So I was like, I need 3 plates in 35 minutes, right? So we can all taste it. Like it was like a tasting interview, working interview. So I was just like, all right. So he just like really fucked it. Like we burnt it. It was dry, just stuff like that. So
no.
I said, like, you know what? This is you're not, it's not gonna work out. You know what I mean? We're gonna part ways. So, and I parted ways with him. It's just like that. But he took it personal. It's not personal. It's business. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're not good enough for my team. So so yeah,
And
and I
those are
can
the
be like
types
that.
of
I can
decisions
be
that
real
you.
arrogant if you know.
I was just going to
Yeah,
say that those are the type of decisions that you, in the position that you are in, are forced to do. Because if not, the
yeah,
restaurant or organization suffers. And it always comes down, and I've been in that position where you have to basically discipline or let people go. And you have to be able to anticipate that they are going to react in that way where they're not, you know, no, obviously not receptive, but they certainly think that, there's more to it, sort of thing. Um, and yeah, you just
yeah,
have to learn
yeah,
to be able to deal with that sort of thing in a diplomatic manner that adheres to HR standards.
yeah. Exactly. It wasn't me. It wasn't me being a jerk, but he took it offensively, and he actually started crying. So I'm like,
I've
wow,
heard that a lot
back
about
in my day,
restaurant workers is that they
yeah,
seem to cry.
yeah, like he was
Kind of like
crying in the
weeb
kitchen. There's no
gooch.
crying in the kitchen.
That's right.
You know what
There's
I
no
mean?
crying in
And
baseball.
yeah, and I come from the old school, and it's like, there's no crying in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And it's like I felt bad, but at the end of the day, it's like, the bottom line too. So it's like, he's gonna make food quality suffer. That means a lot of plates are gonna come out. That means my bottom line numbers. You know what I mean? That means I'm gonna be throwing away meat. I'm gonna be throwing away stuff he's gonna be like making a line that's not gonna make us money and profitable. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. Making the little thin margins make a big difference. You know what I mean? And
The
so that's how it is.
the people need
So
to know that as well, is that that's the thin margin, is this is what everyone is tasked with, is to minimize
yeah,
waste when it comes to working in this sort of environment. So even Gabe, for example, is in his position, and again, I'm
yeah,
talking about it because it's these little nuances that I think people need to know, which I find fascinating, is that you are tasked with trying to minimize waste to maximize profit, and the smallest thing that you can do that requires the minimal effort, if it makes sufficient amount of profit, it's got to be focused on and highlighted sometimes. And there's so many different examples that I could give. I'm saying a general statement here. I'm sure Gabe understands what I'm saying, but like this applies to all different sorts of foods and preparation methods and so
hmm
forth. Um,
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. No, I'm just saying people don't see that side of it. They see the glitz and the glamour on the outside when we're bringing the plate to you. They don't see the back work. And we know that goes like on with everything in the back. And it's always interested me when I was a little kid. I would be like, man, when I was a kid, I'd be like, oh look, there's those cooks are cooks in the back. And then until I actually got in the position I'm in right now, I'm like, wow, because being a chef isn't just about making pretty food. It's about operating. It's about food costs. It's about percentages. It's about all that. So like that's what it's these little young kids don't understand that it's not just about making the presentation look good, which you eat with your eyes, of course. But at the end of the day, it's about being profitable and making the business money. You know what I mean? The ordering, the scheduling, like everything. Like nobody understands what goes on in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's just
and
really crazy.
you've worked different, obviously different levels, but
Uh huh.
but this is something that I don't think gets spoken about a lot because it also discusses character traits that some people don't want to admit. But can you discuss the turnover rate, employment wise, when it comes to these people that come through your doors?
Oh yeah. So the what I got right now is good. There's not in general. There's a high turnover rate. Why? Because people can't like handle the kitchen. They don't understand these
Turnover,
kids
just
coming in.
translation, people. Turnover, if you don't know, means that somebody goes into a job and within a few days is like, nope, this is not for me. I'm out. Bye. Or I just not going to call in
I
and
would
say that I'm
say
not going to be there, and they're gone, disappeared, ghost. What's up?
I would say about six. It would be about 65% probably.
Oh my.
Within restaurants,
Oh.
it's about 65%. Yeah, because people can't handle it. It's like the old saying, can't handle the heat. The heat get out of the kitchen, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people can't handle that.
And that,
The
and
stress,
what
the
happens,
hours.
Gabe? what happens, Gabe, is that okay? Well, whoever's managing, whoever's owning the business, they take this into consideration, and they're saying, "Shit, we're losing 65% of our employees every month, I guess, or year. I don't know what rate you were citing, but they've got to think, how do we maintain these people working so that we can run? If we run, we'll make money, but if we don't run, we can't pay those employees, and then we're out of fucking business. So they're thinking, how do we maintain this business by keeping people employed and them being competent enough, being able to fucking deal with like 20 people coming in at the last moment and all of them are all drunk. I want pizza. I want fucking cheese, fried cheese. I want, and being able to run this while the manager is making sure that the kitchen's running properly. There's all these different levels of this very fast-paced industry, and let's be honest, we've all gone to these places and enjoyed them. Imagine if they didn't exist. Imagine if there weren't people, and I'm not sucking dick here, doing anything, but imagine there weren't people like Gabe Rodriguez, who are there to provide when you come in drunk and say, I want this big order, and I want to change my order at the last minute. You're drunk, and understandable, but not, permissible. You change your order, and these guys may have already made your plate, and they're like, they don't even mention it. Oh, you'll get the one that you just change your opinion on. And, well, that, dish that you ordered that wasn't counted becomes a loss. But they're doing it because they're building that brand. They're encouraging you to consume more. These are the things I don't think that are certainly addressed in the intricacy that I think they should be. But then again, I'm a nerd.
Yeah,
I like
definitely.
to really dive in deep. But go ahead, Gabe. I've talked enough.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, that completely, like, yeah, you said it. So you're right
But
about
Gabe,
all that.
how the
So
fuck
is
how
that
the fuck do I know so much about? Again, it
I
can't
don't
be
know,
that I've
man, but I want
watched
to
all
hire
these
you.
fucking cooking shows.
I want to
Uh,
hire you in the kitchen, man. But I
I've
mean,
hung out
we'll have
in
to
a
probably
lot of
pay you a
fucking
lot.
bar kitchens and shit, talking to the staff. But
Yeah,
I've never worked. But yet somehow I know. You know, it's hilarious because some people will criticize me like, oh, how do you know this sort of thing? It's like it really just takes simple reading. It takes
yeah,
knowing people or just reading. Oh, this is what this person said about their experience working in this bar or whatever,
yeah.
and just building up in your brain and seeing all these different patterns
I
that
just,
just make sense.
yeah, I just think it's one of the hardest jobs in the world to do is to be a chef. To be honest with you, it is. Like people understand it's mental, physical, emotional, everything. All your senses get into it. So
Yep.
it's not just
And,
yeah, it's a life. It's a lifestyle. I always said that. I said that to my wife and everything. And before I met her, I said, you know what, you want to be with me? Because I met her. I met her when I was a cook, and I a cook, and I told her I was actually a sous chef when I met her, and when we first met, and I'm like, is this what you want? Because if not, then maybe I'm not the guy for you. Because there's a lot that goes on. Like, and I told her like, this is my lifestyle. You know what I mean? I'm never gonna be home. You know what I mean? There's just I'm not gonna work. I'll be off the weekends. You know what I mean? There's no life really. My life is the kitchen. You kind of she has to accept that. You know what I mean. If not, then there's just a lot. It takes a lot out of you versus a 9 to 5 job that you're in a desk. And I think this is like one of the best jobs ever in the world. Is to be a chef, but it's very hard. You
and
know what
what
I mean? It's
again?
very hard.
Speak more on that though. Is that what specifically makes you say that it's the best job in the world for you,
It's
despite
the best
all
to
the
me. It's the
different
best
things
job
that
in the
you
world
just
because,
said? Is it being
well,
able to
to me,
share your love of food? Is it be able to
yeah,
show off your talents?
it's everything, man. Yeah,
Yeah, go through
it's
it.
the
Go
share.
through it, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's the share. It's like the love of food. It's like the love of food, your passion. You know what I mean? And it's just like you just know what you want to do with your life. And I knew from a little boy I wanted to be a chef. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the passion. It's the food. You know what I mean? It's like the kitchen. It's like everything. You know what I
So
mean? It's the burns. You
And
know what I mean?
even
It's
even things
everything. Like,
like maybe say learning a new ability or way method to cook something
yeah,
to make
yeah.
it.
There's different types, man. And then the thing is that you can eat anything you want. You can experience anything you want in the kitchen. You get a drink. You know, and I'm not saying alcohol. I mean, some people do, and
But
they
you're
get
talking
fired for
about
that. So,
pairing, right? You're
but
talking about pairing
yeah,
drinks with
pairing.
food.
Yeah, you can drink wines and things like that. You know, all types of stuff to pair with your food. You can try all different types of food from every different like part of the continent.
And
You know what I mean?
I think you're
It's
you're
just
you're talking.
beautiful.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I just said it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, it takes about 12, 13 years to actually get to the level of where I'm at. Like, you know what I mean? As a chef, it takes about 10 to 13 years to like be a cook and then just to like be a sous chef and then do that. It takes between like to learn about food. It's like a doctor. It's like I say, you know, we're a doctor of food. You
A
know what I mean? Because
surgeon.
it takes years to like
It's an
develop your
art.
palate.
The surgeon is an
Yeah, it is.
artist, and the same thing was
Hmm.
with a chef. Is that it
Yeah,
food? Yeah, you can do the basics, but when you do it with again nuance, but you build it is art.
hmm, it's edible art. You know, you got to eat it. At
And
the same time, you can put it on a plate
I
and
feel that what
and
I'm
do all that.
saying might be a little lost on some people because they might even be asking like, well, how can food be an art and such, or how can food preparation and there's so many different levels here, so many different layers
Yeah,
about
even
when it
like
comes to
even
food.
pickling, like pickling stuff, like that's an art. Just
Yes,
pickle. I love pickling and pickling stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just things like that, marinating for like a week. You know what I mean? Just like that. It's all an art. You know what I mean? It's getting the process of cooking. It's all an art, man. It's just, it's you're building it. It's a foundation, and you're just building from that. You know what I
and
mean? And it's so awesome.
it leads to the ability for anybody to make foods that are just varied in
Yeah,
flavor and
yeah,
provide themselves a meal that again is never the same twice is something
yeah.
that just really gives their taste buds a ride.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. And another thing I love about it is that it brings everybody together. Like being in the kitchen, having a kitchen job, anybody can like work in a kitchen. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anybody, but we bring like all walks of life. You know what I mean? Starting off as a dishwasher, just a guy off the street can come wash dishes and then get inspired. You know what I mean? By the cooks and then become a cook.
Yep.
There's just like we invite everybody in the kitchen and that's one of the rare things that people even know about is that anybody can come and we can train them. You know what I mean? And a lot of chefs are self-taught, but where did they start off in the dish pit? You know what I mean? In washing dishes. I started off washing dishes.
I object to that
You know what I
statement
mean?
of
Look where I'm at now.
self-taught, just for the fact that, um, and again, I don't understand how I have this understanding of it, but there are a lot of former cons that do work in kitchens. Again,
Yeah,
having face tattoos isn't that good if you want to go into the corporate world, but the kitchen
yeah,
is
that's true.
always
Yeah,
hiring. That's the thing. The kitchen is
yeah,
always hiring. You're having your smokes in the back. The customers aren't scared,
hmm,
and but
yeah,
you're putting on sometimes what you grew up with, and again, your grandma, whoever raised you, um, gave you some good instinct when it comes to uh, creating food and new types of foods, adapting to whatever it is that you want to put in. And this brings me back to what I was, I think it was several years back on. I think it was how you. I don't know how exactly you ended up tuning in to me, Gabe, but I remember either you or Val saying that the whole. I explained it on one of my streams. It's like it gets to the point when you're one with what you're doing that you just know how much to add. You don't need measuring cups. You don't need you just flow. And I remember one of
hmm,
you guys like said a comment. It's like that's exactly what it is.
yeah, exactly. and that's the stuff that I'm talking about, and me and Dave were talking about. So it's like just those little things, you know what I mean? And another cool thing about being a chef is that you can travel the whole world. Not every job can be like that. You can travel
Yes.
the whole world experiencing different stuff. And then, moving up to that like, corporate ladder and then going to those places. And the cool thing about it is you can travel anywhere in the world you want and have a job. You'll have a job. You know what I mean? In cooking, you know what I mean? And you can travel anywhere and be in a restaurant, you know what I mean? And be accepted, which
And
is cool
there's
because you can't say that about a lot of other places. Field.
and when you again, if you go to some prestigious schools, when it comes to cooking, these things are recognized as something that a restaurant would say, "You've got that on your resume, you're hired." Like I don't even want to
Yep.
do the interview. Like you went to France for cooking school at this location, you're hired.
Yep. Yeah.
So or you did internship with fucking Ramsey, yeah, I think we're gonna take you.
Yeah. Yeah. Just that one name can get you into like a lot of like fine dining, Michelin star restaurants. If you're with Ramsey, that can even get you like into like a corporate gig because
Yeah,
you already know because you learned under Ramsey. So obviously you know the level of expectation of what they're doing. You know what I mean? That type of restaurant, if it's fine dining, things like that, you already have that reputation in the back on the back end of it. Okay, I'll hire you. You're hired. You work for a famous chef or whatever, then there you go. Or you like what you're saying, school.
and when
You
it
know what I
gets to
mean?
that
And things like
point, you've
that.
already proven that it's
Mm-hmm.
not just something like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
just come off the streets and show me what you've
Yeah.
got. It's this is something that
Yeah.
you've gained enough prestige is that somebody wants to
Yeah.
poach you and say you need to, you need to get this done because you are perfect for this role.
Yeah. Exactly. And like I said, you don't need school. I mean, school's it's a foundation. Not a lot of us have school. I have culinary school, but not a lot of cooks went to school. They called it the school of hard knocks because they went through the kitchens. But I mean, I've seen some really talented executive chefs that work are corporate chefs that don't even have education. It's like what you said. They worked with that big name chef and all those other chefs. So you don't even need education in this field, like to be successful at it. Like you know what I mean. You can be making damn good money without your degree, just by working hard. You know what I mean, and
And that's the
grinding
problem
and
that
getting
we
up
we
there.
we jumped upon initially is that you've got at least okay, because honestly, Gabe, you're not going to be most often than not, you're not going to be seeing a 50-year-old coming to you asking for employment, but you will see, 18 to 20 coming to you to get employment, and those are the ones that are going to be quitting within the next few days. Like, ugh, this is so hard, dude. Like, where's my mom to help
I
me?
would I would I would hire that 50-year-old. That 50
Well,
year old
but
is
that's the
gold
thing,
to
though, is
me.
the 50-year-olds aren't applying, are they?
No, nah. You
That's
have
the
these
problem.
youngsters applying. Yep. And the older ones have that experience, man.
Yeah,
The
and they're the
and
ones
it's
that also
good.
could they could be the ones teaching
Mhm.
these, whippersnappers,
Younger ones,
the
yeah,
young ones, basically like, don't be a bitch. Like, this is the job. Just fucking do it. You do a good job, you'll get a good fucking tip. But don't be a bitch because it's not going to fucking serve you in this industry.
mm, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And from what I've like realized working in kitchens, the most hardest working people, and I'm just saying it because of my race, but are like Mexicans. I mean, we are. I mean, they're humble. I've hired like, and I'm being honest with you, I've hired 40-year-olds that are Mexican and like Honduran, Ecuadorians, Cubans, things like that, Puerto Ricans. They work hard. I'm not saying other races don't, but I'm not making this a race thing. But a lot of those workers, they're hard and they speak Spanish. They come from other places and they want to work. And what do? They grind, man. They work. They're not, man, and they're very humble people.
Yeah, but
You
that
know what I
also
mean?
depends on where you are because you're right on the border or whatever, in like in Texas.
Yeah, I'm on the border of Texas. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in
so
San
like that's
Antonio.
who you're going to be encountering. Like you're going to be encountering different types
Yeah,
of immigrants, and they might not be the same as these individuals in your kitchen. So
yeah.
it's
Like I've worked in Utah for a little bit. Like I've helped out in Utah, and I actually was like, wow, there's Mexicans in Utah. So I was just like, cool. And I saw some that they were there and they were working. So they're hard workers, man.
Well, in
So
Canada,
those
for
are
example, I
the guys.
noticed when I used to frequent jobs in the '90s. This is way out of date, so I don't even know what's going on these days. But I remember in the '90s, late '90s. Again, all these bars that I'd go to, again, going into the kitchen, talking to the staff, they were all, not all, but a lot of them were manned by Tamils from Sri Lanka. And
Yeah,
again, they would make a chicken sandwich that you'd never guess who was behind it. You're gonna be like, oh, Tamil made that. It
yeah,
just tasted fucking great. But
yeah.
they were very nice and friendly, and they were really appreciative of the opportunity and stuff. But like, they sort of treated them like slaves in that kitchen, and these people they did it with a smile, and they just fucking
Yeah.
worked their fucking asses off. So you'll
Uh-huh.
find you'll find fucking pizza shops that are run by Chinese people.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's I find it
It's
so
crazy,
funny. It's
right?
just
You think
all
about it,
these
it's nuts.
fast food
Like,
joints, again, Italian, American, whatever. It's not even being done by. It's not even being cooked by the people that are associated with that label.
it's crazy, man. Like, what is it? Last time I saw, I was like at a Chinese restaurant, right? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a peek in there, right? And so I took a peek at all these like Mexicans were working in there, and I was like, what? I mean, we're in
Oh,
San Antonio, but I'm like, what? And they're cooking the food, and you have one lead cook, and he's probably like the manager or something of it, but he's telling them what to do,
was
like
this
the
fast food
stuff, but
though?
they're doing it. No, not fast food. Like it's just a regular Chinese restaurant.
Oh, no, no. I mean, I love dim sum personally, and it has to be made by authentic, illegal Chinese, because we have a lot of those
Yeah,
here in Canada. But God damn it, like, as much as I want them out of the
yeah.
country, they make such great fucking dim sum. And,
Oh yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I was
Okay.
making a joke, but I don't want to go too far. Please continue.
All right. It's all good, man.
Yeah, we
This is
got
too
new
many
laws in
chefs.
Canada.
It's
You can be
okay.
arrested even before you might commit a crime. Um, yeah, it's
That's
getting
funny,
bad
man.
up here. So
Hey, I
somebody
was
in
gonna ask
Vegas.
you something real fast.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, so when are you gonna have your shows back on, man? Because I missed like what the hell happened to this whole community? Like what happened? Because I mean, me and my wife are like, we're like, where's the podcast at? Where's the podcast? Like, I mean, like, man,
Oh,
where's
but
Gabe at,
which
man?
show are you talking about that it should be on?
I'm talking about like your shows, like everybody's shows. Like, what happened to the whole community? I wanted to ask you that from like a long time ago. I know it's the Too Many Chefs, the show, but I wanted to see like what happened to everybody, man. Like, because I've been listening for years, man. I've been listening for like 10 years. You know what I mean, or 9 years or whatever. And it's like, what happened? Like, I just don't know, man.
Well,
I missed all the shows to be honest with you. I listen to everybody, but
I can't speak for anyone else to be quite honest. But I certainly made. I don't know. I certainly made waves, I guess. And
yeah,
in 2024, things have, I guess, turned in a way that I'm focusing more on all these other things. And as much
yeah,
as I would love to be able to go back and do the number of shows that I was doing and the hours that they were, I can't because I certainly
yeah.
enjoyed doing streaming, but
Oh yeah.
it just the
Yeah,
way it
man.
is.
Me and Vanessa miss your shows, like all of them. But I know you're busy. You know what I mean, and you have a lot going on at work and whatnot. So
But
I
I did
get
a
that.
lot of variety of different shows. I talk video games, I talk drama, I talk
Yeah.
politics and all that. But I did provide a variety. I thought of things, but I don't know. Like, who else were you watching? Because there's a lot of people that
Oh
sort of
man,
stopped
I watched everybody.
streaming as they
Right now I'm
used to.
watching. Right now I'm watching RP, or I was, and then YR. I mean, because they're funny. You know what I mean? They're listening to them, but like Mars and and Scott and all them, like, and then Nikki Nines and all, like the whole community. And then I don't really listen to Joe Cronin anymore. I used to back in the day. That's how I started listening. Like pretty much everybody was listening
Oh
to Joe
yeah.
Cronin, and then I stopped listening to him a little bit. Well, I don't really listen to him no more, but I just don't know what happened. Like I just miss the whole community, like the shows and whatnot, like everybody had. So I'm just like, man, it's like boring. There's like nothing really no more. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like what?
Well, I
So,
guess when it comes to drama, there really isn't much going on. But
yeah,
again, I'm not watching Joe's, so I'm not seeing the bullshit that he's doing. But I've been told of a few things that, again, there's always a little pot shot here and there against whoever. But
yeah,
he's never going to attain what he used to have. And
yeah,
again, if you want to watch him, I've got no problem with that. But I know for a fact that it's never going to be the way it used to be. And even
yeah,
for me to say that when I was on that show, when it was him, me, like Joe, me, and Jesse, and then JB, because there was different phases, obviously. It was literally at the
yeah. I
best.
remember
It
that.
was at the best point.
Yeah. Okay. But I just wanted to see what's up. Sorry about that if I draw
Oh no, not at
dove
all. I
into
could
that.
talk about this for
So
hours.
I just wanted to see what's up.
No,
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah,
Cool.
we sort of went into now that I realize it actually, we sort of went into things that weren't of cooking nature. So yeah, you are good for trying to get us back on, folks. I don't even remember where we left off when it came to cooking, because that's really why we're here. So yeah, oopsie on me.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so how about this?
It's
So
all good.
you said that you right now you are not relying, but you are coming home to a welcoming household with your lovely lady, and she is welcoming you with food that is healthy, unlike those recent. I don't know if you've seen those recent. Videos where people are like, oh, my husband just got home after like a 18-hour day and I'm cooking them this shit, and they're making like worse and worse foods. I don't know if you've seen that sort of shit going on social media, but yeah,
Nah.
it's like
Hell no, man. I'm getting like she's not cooking one. She's not feeling it. Yeah, I mean, if she's not feeling it, I'm going out to eat. You know what I mean? So I've been eating a lot of out to eat food as well too. So because I'm busy
dude,
on the
you're
road and
gonna have
whatnot,
to
doing what
watch
I have to
that gut
do,
then,
and then
because
she's
it's
busy
this
too. So
stuff
it's like,
is going after your gut.
oh yeah, I know, I feel you on that, and I'm not getting any younger as well. So completely understand that. But I try to eat healthy sometimes. I mean, not rarely, but there's just so much. I do like I taste a lot of food every day. So it's just hard for me, like to keep up with everything. And then my weight, and things like that. So it's like, just being active. But, because I taste all the food all the time from my cooks or whatnot. And that is a cool thing. Another cool thing about being a chef, too, is you get to taste whatever you want and eat whatever you want.
Yeah, it's good to be able to bring home and add that to a meal and not have to worry about
Definitely.
buying more groceries.
Yeah, exactly.
So have you been experimenting with any? I know you keep saying that you haven't cooked in a while and so forth, but like, have you done any experimentation, even if it was a while ago? But have you been playing around with new recipes?
Well, to be
Trying
honest with
to
you, at work,
perfect
we
any
we've
other?
been pickling a lot of stuff. Like we've been doing a lot of it at work. Recently we've been trying to pickle our own jars, our own onions and things like that.
So
Pickles and
hold
just
on.
things like
You
that.
can't just go, just overpass that. Like, okay, onions, but I'm sure that you're doing much more pickling. Like, what other vegetables are you pickling? Please explain the size
Oh,
of containers
have you
that
ever
you're
had pickled
using,
beets?
how you're storing them, and so forth.
So basically, we're doing like pickling with vinegar and brine, like a brine, and we're doing like beets. Like, have you ever pickled beets?
I've never pickled beets, but I've used brines, and I think that requires more explanation for the audience because you just say brine. How do you make a brine? What did you put in there?
So with your brine, so what you want to do with your brine, and depending on what it is, like if you're
And
doing,
what does
there's
it
like
do to the
all types.
meat? What does it do to the meat? Again, explain the reason
So
that we're using
basically,
brine and
so
not water.
basically,
Teacher
so basically,
Gabe.
when you're, so like when you're, well, there's all types of like for say for instance, if you want to do a pork, right? You want to do a pork, like say you're doing a like pulled pork, or you're doing like a pork loin, right? You're gonna like break the loin up, and then you're gonna put it like in. Well, there's different types though. There's too many for me to like discuss on here,
Okay,
but I
give us
mean,
the
there's like a
basics
water
then,
brine.
because we know the basics. Come on.
So the water, so there's a brine, right? And so the brine is going to be a brine of water, oil, and then it's going to be sugar, a little bit of sugar, salt, and then black peppercorns.
Hmm.
And all that is going to like tender up the meat, and it's going to make it like really flavorful and delicious. And then you put some like bay leaves in
It
there,
breaks
and then
down
you
the
put your
meat
meat.
fibers and allows for
Yeah,
this
it
to be
breaks down.
absorbed. That's very
Yeah,
important for people to understand, because this was what allows the flavor to come out of the meat. Again, you always want the meat flavor to come out. That's where it comes out. So the way that you cook it, it allows it to be sucked out. That's why you want to set a steak with some salt, not the salt that they show you on fucking the internet. It's way too much, but some salt to pull out that flavor. Please continue, Gabe.
oh man, you're awesome. You're like a food scientist.
How
I
do I
like how
know
you
so much,
explain things.
dude? I don't understand
I
this.
don't know, but a lot of chefs don't explain like the way you do.
It's the
Oh,
force. It's
that's
it's
like
it's
a
how you
that's a
started watching me in the first place. It's like this guy knows his shit.
yeah.
He talked about the fucking
It's
food
like
force.
a like how Alton Brown is. Like you're kind of like that. A lot of chefs don't do that. We just put the food. We just do add the ingredients and things like that. We can't really explain because we're more of a like doing it type of person. So
Dude, I
anyway, so
have
like
I have issues explaining it. It's hard to describe. It literally is. It's like all you
it
can say
is.
is like use the force. It's like, what are you saying, Dave? It's like I can't explain it fucking properly, because if you did do what I'm
Yeah,
doing, you'd feel it yourself. You feel it.
yeah. You just feel it in you. You know what I mean? And you're just like, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? And it's hard to explain. Like I know some people that do. They're like
Why is it
doing a cooking
sometimes that
show.
your hand gravitates towards a certain fucking spice or fucking herb or something? It's just like, why? Hold on. This I'm not understanding here, but I just went to reach for that. I saw it. I looked at the label. My hand just came out instinctively and grabbed it. Why is that? Could it maybe mean that I've got to
Yeah.
add that right now? Like it is this fucking force level shit. It really is. But then when you do this shit, it comes out in a way where it's like, this is clearly instinctual. This is not a coincidence. This is something that is manifesting right now because I'm making something that I'm focusing my energy on to be the best fucking meal. It's not something that you can explain to people and then, and them not scoff and be like, oh, that sounds like fantasy. It just okay, but you're gonna eat my fucking meal and you're gonna be like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing. So blame it on whatever you want, but call it the force, whatever, but that's how it fucking works.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
and
It's crazy, man. It's
and I
crazy.
I don't have the
Yeah. So the
opportunity like you do to serve all these people, and but I've been able to serve enough people where you watch that expression on that visceral expression on their face when they eat something that you made, and the joy that you see it bring them on multiple levels. Um, to me, it's indescribable, and it certainly is very enjoyable. And I'm not getting paid for that, but again, making my cakes. Again, love making my cakes. And just sharing that new experience with other people that have never had that style of cake. To me, it gives me great joy. It does, it's not pain in money. It's pain in fucking something that is priceless. And I think that's a selfless thing, but it's also
yeah,
a selfish thing. Chefs do it for others, but do it for themselves too, because they're also trying to prove themselves.
Yeah.
to be up to that standard. That's another thing that's not discussed about that the front that, say, Gordon Ramsay puts on. You think he's tough with his fucking employees? How tough do you think he is when he looks in the mirror and asks, can't I be doing more? That's something I don't think that a lot of people even discuss, is that the pressure that these people who are in these positions to cook something that is supposed to be a first-class meal, and if they can't deliver, even if they've got a Karen making a wrong fucking criticism that is wrong, they're still going to be the one going into that fucking shitty-looking bathroom in the restaurant and looking themselves in the mirror. It's like, did I fuck up? Like, I know that I fucking pushed myself to this, but like, yeah, and I got a Karen criticizing me, but are they valid? Like, that amount of willingness to be self-critical of something that, in the Karen case, is certainly not worth bothering. Am I speaking, something you understand there, Gabe? Like, are you as
Yeah,
critical as
definitely.
yourself
Yeah,
on yourself?
definitely. No, I'm very critical in my on myself. My wife knows that, like, firsthand, how critical I can be. Like, for instance, I'll like make some rice, right? And I'm like, "Hey babe, is this good?" And she's just like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "It is," but it's just, and I'm like, "No, it needs to be better," right? So you always have that back in your mind. Could I do like more, or things like that? And I completely understand. Like, I'm very hard on myself, and I think that's why I got to where I'm at right now.
And that
Is because I'm
drives us,
hard on
though.
myself.
It drives us to say it's never good enough. Now, that's not necessarily the
Yeah.
best thing, uh, but you can use it. You can use these sorts of challenges that are presented to you, um, as a encouragement to be better. So yeah, you might be critical of your cooking abilities, but if you use that
Mhm.
more as a promotion to improve yourself, I think again it's turning a potential negative, based on obviously perception, into a positive and say, no, that's not going to be me. I'm going to use that to point to say that's never going to be me because I'm always going to be better than that. But it's the drive. It's the desire to say, no, I won't settle for anything less than perfection. And even then, it's still not good enough.
Yeah, it's like never settle for mediocrity. You know what I mean? So, and I still live by that, and just don't settle just for that. Always push yourself and drive yourself. You know what I mean? To be successful.
And this
And
is
a lot
not,
of people, yeah,
and I think people need to understand this is not about like, for example, if you want to relate it to a sports team, this is not like you're a fan of the team. It's like you're speaking on yourself. You criticize yourself. You say, this is not up to the standards that I would hold up to myself. Again, a lot of us hold ourselves to a higher standard than we do anybody else. At least those that are, I think, willing to do the right thing. And that's a long discussion. But regardless,
yeah, sure.
looking to be better and never thinking that your dish is, like you got to where you wanted to be when it came to making the dish and so forth. It is, at the level that I approve, but then you got the thoughts, was it good enough? Is there, in the future, can I make this thing better? Like, is this always going to be something that's going to be ordered? Do I have to start adapting it? All these sorts of things. And again, it's the nuance, in my opinion, that really intrigues me as to your job and your role in your company and so forth, and all the different things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to running and operating a proper business and restaurant.
Definitely. Yeah, that's 100% true.
All right. Do you want to? I don't know. Where should we go here? Like, okay, so uh, again, I was talking briefly about me going into making chicken tenders with different types of um, flour mixes and bread mixes and stuff. Have you been recently experimenting with anything, or when was the last time you did experiment?
Actually, well, we did. I did experiment with some chicken tenders, but it was like a different like marinade for the chicken.
Okay.
It was I was trying to do like a Mexican like adobo like chicken tender, and I was just like, should I do it like that? And it was like really spicy, like adobo sauce and like chili powder. So I was gonna like mix it together, and then my sous chef was like, maybe you can do it like that. So we were kind of like, 'cause I did pickling, and then the chicken tender thing. So we were just trying to experiment with like a different like a chipotle, you know what I mean, like a chipotle ranch chicken tender. I think that would be awesome. You know what I mean? To have
Did
like
but
in
you didn't do
marinade, you
it?
know, like a ranch marinade.
Did you not
Huh?
do it
Yeah,
then?
I ended up doing it. Oh, so I ended up trying it. Get this. So I ended up trying it, and it tasted delicious. I'm like, I wonder if I can market this
Okay, so
because
hold
it's
on. So
like,
we got you're taking. Let's walk people through. I know we're both you and I are getting very excited, but okay. So
yeah,
you got chicken breasts, I'm assuming, and you decide to cut them
uh,
up, right?
yeah.
So from there, you're brining them. But what are you putting anything special in the brine? Is just salt and water, lemon, what?
No, with that chicken tenders, well, chicken tenders, I'm not doing that brine. I'm just doing like a marinade now. So
Okay, now
the marinade
what's
was gonna
included in the
be,
marinade? What did you put in the
so
marinade?
the marinade was gonna be, it was gonna be adobo sauce in the marinade. It was gonna be adobo sauce, chili powder, a little bit of oil, garlic, a very like small amount of thyme, a little bit of bay leaf just to give it like that flavor, the pungentness, and then just with a little bit of chili powder, just to see like the contrast of the food, like how it would taste. You know what I mean? Just to experiment that. And then what I wanted to do was do like a batter, kind of like that, because you can do the marinade, you know, and then you make the batter. But I wanted it to do like a different batter, like a pancake batter, and see how that would turn out. So it'd be like a chicken tender, like a pancake style. You know what I mean? Like a pancake batter
Yeah,
and
no,
see how that would.
yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah,
I've been making that recently with well, somewhat uh, similar, but with my
yeah,
chicken tenders. But so you went full out and you went the pancake batter way. So you'd already marinate them with this
yeah,
adobo spicy sauce, and
yeah,
then you what? You coat them in this
yeah. I'm
batter.
gonna coat them. Yeah, I'm gonna coat them with So then I'm gonna coat it with that batter. So it'd be like the pancake batter, and then fry them like deep fry them. So it'd be like a fried like a ball, but it would be like a chicken tender. You know what I mean? So it'd
Are
be
you gonna
like
garnish
like the
them with
tender.
anything afterwards?
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna garnish it with like I would say some like chives,
Okay.
and then
Yeah, that's what I was
do like a
thinking.
wrap. Yeah, and then do some like a buffalo ranch. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And like
little
fresh homemade ranch.
spurts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then put them on like a stick, like a skewer, like a
No,
stick, and then have like
I'm
three
already
of them.
seeing the fucking plate. It's white. They've got them. You got the
Yeah,
two of them crossed over each other, and you
yeah,
got the little drizzle over the chives already.
yeah.
Like I can already see this.
Then I'm gonna spoon. So basically, I have a plate. I'm gonna spoon the ranch dressing, but I'm gonna do like a little dollop. And I don't know if you've ever seen those chef plates, how they like mark them, like they just like do a little like get the spoon, and then they like a regular spoon, and then they kind of just spoon it and make this little like it's like a little dash on it. I don't know if you've ever seen it like that. They get this spoon and they just kind of like mess it up a little bit, kind of like that. And then put some little bit of cherry tomatoes, just to like brighten it up and like make it pop out. So you have your green and then you have your red and then you have your like cherry tomatoes. You know what I mean? Like all on the side, cut individually,
I love
and then
cherry
have them like.
tomatoes, but I'll be honest, I don't necessarily think that dish needs those cherry tomatoes because I think just with the
No,
green and
I
white,
just want some color on it.
it would no,
Yeah,
well, no, green and white. You know, you got that. It's okay to be white. Um, but yeah, like it still sounds good. I can see the cherry tomatoes would give a different flavor to it. But I honestly, I'm telling you that if I was to order that and I had the option, I would choose no tomatoes. Oh, I love tomatoes.
no,
I love the flavor that it adds
yeah,
to it. But it just what you just described, I think remains perfect with simply the
yeah,
fucking the drizzle and the chives and that's it.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm thinking all these things, you know what I mean? And then I'm thinking like a compote, like a compote, as far as like a raspberry blueberry compote, like on the side, just to give it like if they don't want that option of that, they can have like a little compote. You know what I mean? And just to like, have you ever had blueberries like mixed together, like macerated, or like squashed blueberries or raspberries with that? Like, have you ever had like a sauce with it? Like a strawberry sauce or a
Well, I've
coulis.
had
It's like
strawberry
it's called
sauce,
a
but
coulis.
you're jumping all over the place when it comes to fruits. But
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
strawberry
just getting
sauce I've
very
had.
excited. See,
I haven't
that's the
had
level of passion I
raspberry
have.
with blueberries. I don't. At least I
Yeah,
think
and
I
it's
have.
like it would
But
be a good match, a good combination. If they
no,
don't like the ranch,
berries are berries are berries. Like they just fucking
yeah,
whichever berries you mix, they just always they the jams and the jellies just are so great.
yeah, and
And again,
mix it that up. You know what I mean? So
making a compote is
yeah,
something that again many people are not aware of. Um, but it's also something that I enjoy. It's just like the simple act, not simple really, but the act of making that and not having it burn, and having enough, monitoring its water level and so forth. Like, again, there's a lot. It's a science almost that goes into it.
oh yeah,
Although again, I'm the opinion that cooking is more of like a Jedi power. Again, the Force, as opposed to baking, because baking I think is an art
that's
because
a
it
science,
has to
man.
be so accurate. It has to have you have to
Yeah,
have 35 milliliters, no more, no less. And personally, I take that as an insult, and that's why I call myself the Renegade Baker, and I even have that on my Twitter, so toots to me. But again, I take it as an insult. It's like, how dare you tell me how to use the Force? And yes, okay, let's be honest. Measuring your ingredients when it comes to baking makes things a lot more agreeable. But the wonders that I've found by not giving a fuck about the fucking rules and just baking the way that I wanted to has led to some fucking creations that was, like, I could not replicate, and because I wasn't measuring. I was just doing what I thought was best with the ingredients. And it led to some fucking amazing cookies, amazing cakes, breads, and I still can't replicate them. But I love that about, again, experiencing this cooking is that when you view baking in such disdain as I do, and claiming such arrogance, and being the renegade baker, you can experiment. There's nothing stopping you. You have no rules, no limits. So it's taking it further than you can do, I think, in cooking. Is that when it comes to baking and you're not following instructions, in spite of them, very spiteful, Dave. You can create magical. You can also create horrors beyond your fucking belief. I've done
yeah,
so, but again, I have more positive experiences following my gut when it comes to cooking, which would make many bakers scream, than I have by following the rules. So.
exactly.
What do you have to say about
Yeah, man,
such
baking definitely
blasphemous? If
isn't.
I was in a French cooking school right now, like everyone would like literally be lunging towards me with a knife to try to kill me. I've said such blasphemy here right now that most people don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to a French cooking school and they take that shit very seriously.
No, I remember
I
you.
know
That
how
was a
to.
great thing that we discussed last
Yeah.
episode that many people don't know is that you actually have gone through all these different levels of training and you went to the
Oh yeah.
highest level, which is French cooking. There really is no higher dining level than
Mm-mm.
French cooking. Italian is up
It's
there,
called
but French
hot
cooking
haute
is the
cuisine. Haute cuisine.
epitome of food, of classy food, not poor people food. That's perfectly
Yeah.
fine, but there's no equivalent to French food. None.
No, there's not. No, there's not. Nope. We it's all from the it's all from French. It's all it we get everything from that.
And
So
we
that's where all the basis from is
can
from that.
adapt it. We can certainly make it our own. We can infuse it with our cultures and so forth. But French dining stands as itself as a titan. And regardless of any mixing with that, because look at, you know what, look at the Vietnamese. The Vietnamese were conquered by the French, and what did they come out with? Banh mi, which is fucking kick
Hmm.
ass. So it's just like, let's
Hmm.
not say that, these sorts of interactions necessarily are always a bad thing.
Yeah,
It leads to
there
this
there are and there are
infusion
different
of
cuisines, but
cultures.
everything goes on French.
Yep. Look
Hmm.
look at look
Everything
at
comes.
their influence in Lebanon and in Syria.
Yeah,
Their
exactly.
the
Yeah.
food, how that food has been influenced, the Middle Eastern Arabian food influenced by French cuisine.
Yep. That's true.
I'm referring to the
Everything's
French
French.
here.
I hate to say
I'm
it,
starting to
but yep,
pronounce.
it is. Everything derived from there.
And
And that's
again,
why a lot of them are cocky and arrogant. You know what I mean? A lot of those French chefs are cocky and arrogant, and it's a different level. You know what I mean? The French chefs from France, that's a like it's a respect over there.
yeah, but
And I don't know if we went on it last time, but it's
if
that's
they're
the
if they're
respect. It's a whole
watching
different.
if they're watching current TV shows, they're certainly right to be arrogant because it's like,
Hmm.
c'est quoi ça? You know, we've got all these people that are incapable of, cooking, and they're being featured on TV shows. Meanwhile, I'm struggling and, slaving away here behind this fucking hot kitchen to serve these ingrates that are coming in just for a photo. You know,
Hmm. That's true. That's true, man.
but yeah. So yeah, I was. Last time I remember, we were talking about making food for yourself, and because again, here we're talking about all different sorts of things, and I love just going out in every direction and touching every topic. Never a bad thing to have, some sort of idea as to what you want to discuss. And again, it's been a while since we've talked, but so right now, is there anything on your mind when it comes to this new year? Obviously, we're 3 months in, but um, is there any project or goal that you're shooting for? What is it maybe that you're hoping to accomplish? Um,
Well, I'm just in my current role. I'm just hoping to accomplish like since I'm still new to this role. I'm not new to the industry, but I'm new to this role. But just going in there, kicking some ass and taking some names, and just going in there and showing what I can do, and stay with the company and move up, and keep on moving up. And but that's my goal, man, just to be happy with my wife and things like that, and go from there. Like that's what I'm worried about right now. Or that's my goals and my focus right
that's your
now.
okay.
Just living a good life, man. Just being happy and cooking and enjoying the kitchen and people and that stuff right now for this year. So hopefully it gets better the year. It's been a good year so far. So hopefully it just keeps getting better.
Okay. How about this? Well, hold on. Before we go there, is there, because we've had a great show so far. I don't know how much time you have with us, because I'm more than willing to keep going. But
Well, my actually my phone's going out. So my phone's going out, so I got to charge it and whatnot.
okay,
And
so
then
I guess
I'll probably
we
be
should
with my
wrap
wife.
up then, if you want. Okay, so we've had,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
cool.
we've,
Yeah, because I gotta.
again, it's been an hour and 40 minutes. It's been a great show. I always love to talk about, cooking and such. It's unfortunate that you've been so busy that you haven't cooked anything as of late to discuss with us. Because again, I always love to hear how
But
you
I like yeah,
creating new
and
new
I was
dishes.
gonna ask you. Yeah, and I was gonna let you know. I'll like we'll keep in touch. I'll try to keep in touch, and then
Well, you know
I'll
what?
make some stuff and
I'll
try to
send you
cook
an
and stuff.
invite to my super secret
Okay,
server on Discord now that you're on there. And in there is
cool.
two channels where you can talk, verbally like we are now. And then there's a bunch of text channels where I just put a bunch of images or other people talk, memes, conspiracies, cooking, all that sort of thing. And, we can, communicate much more often. And yeah, we can continue the conversation. But I do appreciate you, again,
Okay, that sounds good, Dave.
letting me know that you were available for this impromptu video, and I think it
Cool,
went
man.
great.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me this time. Yeah, man, I appreciate you giving me this time on the show, and I appreciate it, and everybody out there. So, also, if you want to follow me on TikTok, you can. It's going to be Gabe Rodriguez. That's it. I don't
Gabe
know how to see
Rodriguez
me, but
on. I don't think I
yeah, it's just
even
Gabe
subscribed
Rodriguez.
to you. Am I? I don't think I
But
have. Is
I
that
can send
new?
you a link later on. Yeah, are you there?
Yeah, but is it new? Like I don't remember. I mean, your lady has me like like following, and I'm following her, but like I've never seen you on Instagram. So
Oh yeah, I don't have an Instagram. Like I don't.
oh, so what
I
was
try
it
to
you
stay
were just saying
out
now?
of all.
On
I
which
have a TikTok, but
oh
I don't have an Instagram.
TikTok.
I don't have
Yeah, no,
anything.
I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Um,
okay, no.
no,
So
not
I
gonna
have a
happen.
TikTok, but that's all I have. I don't have a Facebook or anything. I like to keep my. I
TikTok.
like to kind of be private on stuff.
Uh,
So the only thing
TikTok.
I'm not private on is on my TikTok.
That's terrible. You got to find a different
Yeah,
one,
I know,
especially
right?
since it's going
Talk
to
to
be
my wife
banned
about
by
that.
America. So you got to find something better.
Yeah, if you can like maybe nudge
Instagram is
my wife, be
better. I
like,
mean,
hey,
I'm not a big fan of Meta, but I mean, like you can put videos of you cooking or you serving a food or whatever, and it
I
just
was
works a
actually
lot
thinking
better.
about getting a channel like that. I was thinking about putting my stuff, but I don't know like where, and I don't know if I have the time to do it.
But
Like I'm not
Instagram,
sure, man.
that just it makes it so much easier. It's just you literally record on your phone. And again, I'm not a fan of fucking Facebook, Meta, but like you just literally record this shit, you upload it, and it's fucking there. Um,
Oh,
and
that's
there's,
cool.
I think there's better reach than TikTok, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
There's less chance that TikTok is, so that Instagram is going to be taken down as opposed to TikTok. But yeah, I
yeah.
honestly
They were
think
saying
that
something about that
you
being
should
taken
you
down.
should be
So
doing that. Um,
yeah, okay, that sounds good. And I
but
want to
yeah,
give a shout out to my wife. I love you, and I'm here. So I'm in the garage right now. So I'll be over there in a little
yeah,
bit,
I'll
then.
see you when I get
Anyway.
inside. We're only like 12 feet, away. But no, but that
Yeah, I'm in
that's
the man
that's
cave,
great though.
man.
Is that again showing your love and very supportive lady from what I've seen, and
Yep.
always been very
Oh
nice
yeah, she's
to
freaking
and a
awesome, man.
friend to the show of Too Many
She is.
Chefs.
She is nice.
But yeah,
Definitely.
I always will remember. She was saying, yeah, that's what Gabe said is that you just use the force, and yeah, it's something that maybe not everyone
You
would
have to, man.
understand, but just how it works.
Yeah, exactly, man. Okay. Well,
All
it was
right,
good talking to you, Dave,
it
man. I
was always
appreciate you.
great
And like I
talking to you,
said,
buddy.
let me know, and I'll keep in contact with you.
And yeah, let me know when you win the
Okay.
lottery, and
All
then
right.
you get that food truck for yourself, and you just start living on your own terms. But yeah, all the
That's
best
my
to you.
dream, man. That's my dream.
All
That's
the
my
best to
dream.
you with what's going on in
Okay,
your
man.
new position, and may it be a successful 2024. Happy Easter, by the way.
Happy Easter, brother. I appreciate you, and thank you guys. Thank you for putting me on the show and whatnot. And I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. There goes the one and only Gabe Rodriguez. And that was a great Too Many Chefs, episode 17, impromptu show. We got the Goon in the chat, and he says, Devious Dave Rose. Yay, food show. Last night I had Turkish coffee. Very good. Was it made with rosewater? Because I do appreciate that. Kib, what does it say? Kibe? and kazandibi. For dinner, my picky lady approved of it all. You must have had to have multiple levels of negotiation for that. Um, it's always wonderful seeing people try new cuisines. It certainly is. And as somebody that enjoys to actually cook, um, and not using an air fryer like it's the Costanza, who always loves to talk about it. And yes, I will continue to shit on you. It's the Costanza for even espousing your interest in the air fryer. But yes, for shame for those that don't actually cook for themselves and rely on these objects that are literally made for the physically and mentally disabled. Back to the chat, we've got the Dan Kennedy Show. How's it going? Again says made under hot sand. Yes, I've seen the videos of that. That's very cool. They heat the sand, and due to science and facts, um, basically the sand is evenly heated. That allows for the coffee to boil and rise up and provide an extra cup of coffee. I do have to make dinner. Again, we're keeping with the food discussion here. Unless anyone wants to call in on my Skype to discuss what was discussed on today's episode. I truly doubt it, though. But I do have to make something for myself. I was thinking that I would continue on with my initial broadcast of a not so chill hangout. Because there's still much, much more to say. And certainly haven't gotten anyone who's wanting to address these sorts of things of that side of the community. But yeah, I do have to feed myself and do a few things around the house, yes. But I'm very, very glad that Gabe Rodriguez was able to coordinate with us here today so that we could finally have a follow-up interview as to what's been going on with the guy. And very happy for how things are with the guy, and hope for the best and hope that it continues to go upward and onward. So thank you again, Gabe, for calling in, sharing your time with us here on Too Many Chefs, episode 17. I'm your host, Devious Dave Rose. We will be here in the near future because there are many new shows planned, close to finalized, and I have that special. It's very, very special. Personal, even. Care package. Coming from the southern hemisphere itself. Straight from the Nazi strongholds of Argentina. Getting a gift. Care package. And, the goodies that I will have, which I will certainly be featuring exclusively on Too Many Chefs. And although I certainly don't plan to eat them all at once, I may just eat them, just to tell the truth, Dave. I'm just going to eat them separately, record them separately, space them out, because certainly you don't indulge in pure mana multiple days in a row. It'll kill most mortal men. But I will record the experiences with all these different goodies, compile them into one big video, and release it on a probable premiere. Don't think I'm going to do it live, but you never know. Regardless, that is the probable plan. Is it'll be all stitched together as one big video. All these different delicious Argentine treats. And I will share my experience with you, the people, as to how amazing these things are. What else? What else? We got a few people in the chat here. Made under hot sand, says the goon. Oh, I already read that. Good stream, Dave, says Arushan Chu. All right, but yes, there is much more planned for Too Many Chefs. A show, as you can hear, I'll babble and babble and babble and go on and on and on, even to myself, even when it comes to cooking. And you can hear the fucking visceral passion that I've got for it. Am I a cook? No. Am I employed this industry? No, I'm not. What vested interest do I have? No, it's only my passion to enjoy food, to that love of eating, not a fucking sloth. Um, you know, not this desire to of gluttony. To eat, no, it's to enjoy and to make things that other people enjoy and that's probably a passion that many people will not understand. And that's fine, because it does separate those that do it and those that don't, is that there's a passion to cook for other people, to create food that is so flavorful, that's so enjoyable to eat, that you feel, a sense of contentment, enjoyment from eating that food. And those that made that food for you are looking for that. They, it's something that they look forward to see somebody eat something that you made, and this look on their face that appears like, holy shit, like, what? This is fucking delicious. Like, let me have another bite. Oh my, and then, their eyes roll into the back of their head like, oh my God, that was, like, what? I haven't had something like this before. Like, yeah, who made this? Who made this so I can fucking find out how it's made? Like, people who cook love that. They love to know that people are like that. And that obviously happens where just naturally you make food, and you might be hosting a bunch of people, and you see all these people share the same feeling after biting into something that you made. So certainly something that those that know experience. Those that don't, who knows? Maybe they just have to do it to experience it. But it's not something that you could just say. Like all that shit that I just said right now, I don't think it'll translate unless you experience it. But if you're not, I guess, open to the experience or capable of experiencing that, then you won't understand it. But there are those that know, like Gabe, who was on. They just know. Like there's that feeling. And it just leads you to try to cook in a way that will make others love cooking as much as you do, love food as much as you do. But on that note, I've really enjoyed myself here today. I am ecstatic, to be quite honest, that I was able to finally get Gabe on the show again, do the follow-up. But I'm glad that you guys tuned in as well, and great replay value. So be sure to go listen again. But yeah, it was a great Sunday. Hope you enjoyed it, because I certainly did. And on that note, we'll all see you next time, which should be sooner than later, because again, I have all these new topics to bring up on the show. And again, got some time available. Just reorganizing my schedules, as it were. But yes, I do hope to provide more consistent episodes of Too Many Chefs. And finally, on that note, my name is Devious Dave Rose, and we shall see you next time.